Hello, beautiful people. My name is Tomek. I'm going to be your host on this series of short videos about Lords of the Fallen. I was part of the dev team that made the game. The game was out over 2 years ago, but I've noticed quite a lot of people are picking up this game right about now. I've noticed a lot of questions about how should I start, what gear should I use, how this and that work. I actually came up with an idea to produce short videos. I don't know how often I'll be able to put these up. I don't know how much time I'll find to record and produce these. But the beginning of the game is the most important part, in my opinion. So I thought about giving you some insight into how we designed the game and how we wanted it to be fun and maybe even more accessible for people who are starting with either this game or games like this. Yeah, let's get on with the first episode of Lords by Design. The first one is going to be about creating your character. Very simple thing. Now, when we were creating the character creation screen, we wanted two things to be independent. One of them is the class of the spell that you choose, and the other one is the gear that you choose. This choice is independent. You can see I can toggle between these two back and forth. And the most important thing is only the magic type selection is something that you get bound to for the entire playthrough. At least the first one, because there's a new game plus, a new game plus plus, and no more new game plus plus pluses then. It's only 3 playthroughs for each character slot. And this one is locked for the first playthrough, the one that you choose right now. Then you get another one for the second playthrough, and so on. And as for the second choice, which is the gear that you choose, you can change it any way you want, anyhow you want throughout the entire game. So this choice is only the starting gear. And I just wanted to give you a quick overview of when you're starting the game, what you should decide for, what you should care about to minimize the risk that you're going to be starting off with a wrong character, that you're going to be playing in a like not according to your playstyle. So there are 3 and this choice is not very determinant on what your playstyle is going to be later in the game. You can still adjust. It's very important to note that at the beginning. 3 magic type selections are Brawling, Solace, and Deception, and these are representing kind of a warrior, mage, and rogue kind of playstyle. So these are different. You can think of spells of magic in Lords of the Fallen as something similar to Borderlands action skills. They're probably not as powerful. They might even not play as an important role in a game as action skills do in Borderlands series, but it's going to help you grasp what these are. That's why there are no 50 spells in the game for each class. There are 4 of them, and this is a bit simpler. You can upgrade each of the spells, and unlocking each of these spells is sequential, requires certain conditions, and we're going to be covering that later. Now, the other choice is, the types of spells, and you can see the descriptions of these on the screen. Technically, all of these have prayer. As you can see, the first spell, only the Solace type has it unlocked at the very beginning. The other 2, you actually have to unlock it if you want to use it. You have to sort of buy it for the spell point. And this one has the first one unlocked already from the get-go. And the thing is that technically it's called prayer for each 3 classes, but it has slight differences. The statue that you create, this is the kind of a deceptive spell. It gets the aggro of the opponents, has minor differences in the result. Apart from gathering the aggro, each one of them does some buff to the main character, and the buff is different for each class. This one regenerates health slowly. This one increases the cooldown, the regeneration of the magic energy, and this one increases the regeneration of your energy. Some call it stamina. It's pretty much similar thing. And yeah, and the gear is something totally different. I actually created a table that I'm going to put up on the screen right now, and it's publicly available. if you look at the video description, there's a link to it. So I just wanted to highlight a couple things, how we created like the outcome classes, because you choose the magic and then you choose the gear, and 3 choices within each one of these screens make a total of 9 kind of classes, of starting classes. As you can see, the red ones, the first row, which is magic, the red ones are the first 3 classes are based on the warrior kind of brawling magic tree. The next 3 are based off of a deception tree, which is a rogue one, and the last 3 ones. So there are 3 kind of full classes that are very typical archetypes of warrior, rogue, and cleric. And when you're choosing these classes, you know from the start that you're going to be focusing. For example, warrior has the biggest vitality starting, and also probably, yeah, it has the biggest strength. So this is the vitality and strength kind of class. If you're choosing rogue, you can see that there's endurance and agility. And if you're choosing cleric, you can see that vitality and faith are the most important ones, and you won't get a starting level higher than that if you choose different classes for each one of these 3, the base stat of these classes. Also, it's pretty self-explanatory, so I even linked the images for very detailed stats before you go into details and before you go into the game and start it. One more thing that is very important is the row with potions. This is very important because potions, health potions, this is what potions mean in here. They work in a very particular way in Lords of the Fallen. You start with a certain number of potions, like from 2 to 5, as you can see. The rogue has the biggest number of starting health potion. This is very important for you guys that might not be aware of that. And throughout the game, the number of potions you have can change, and it can change upwards and downwards, because there are ways to obtain new potions. They're called empty bottles, and every time you use a checkpoint, they refill. Sometimes all of them, sometimes not all of them. That's a topic for a different discussion. And also, there are quests or encounters in a game which decrease your number of potions. So you have to be aware of that. Some people start the game with 2 potions, and then they don't find any new ones anywhere early on the game, because they're usually quite hidden. They're in a slightly optional areas of the game, the empty bottles that you find to increase the number of potions. And then they bump off on a quest where, for example, they give away one of these potions, and they end up with 1 potion. And they, why? What happened? So I'm just kind of marking that up for you. It's important. If you look closely, if you look around, and if you dig deep and explore all the secrets, you're gonna find quite a lot of these empty bottles to increase your number of potions. But if you're the guy who just moves forward and goes on and is more interested in quests, and you like, for example, helping other NPCs, maybe giving them the potion to them, you will be finding yourself decreasing the number of potions. So yeah, and also there are bonuses. The last row in this table is these are minor ones, like Ghost Merge Shard is when you die, you can remotely kind of pick up the experience that you've lost upon death that lies in a place where you died. You can do it remotely. I don't think other games do that. Energy Shard temporarily buffs your energy regeneration. Magic Energy Shard, similar thing for the magic energy. Also, we can see that the last 3 columns in the last row of these have statue spell unlocked, which is very important. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple. One thing is summing it up. Magic is, there we go, magic is something that is locked for at least the first playthrough that you're choosing, so you might want to read carefully about the spells. And if you're a guy very focused on using spells, please take notice that this game is not mainly about magic. This is a primarily melee combat focused game. So this is offensive magic, this is more of a defensive magic, and this is deceptive, which means critical strikes, sneaky kind of playstyle. So this is kind of skills or spells that you might want to choose. And this is the starting gear. Very important thing to notice. There are 3 different weight limits, weight tiers in a game. So where you choose warrior, you're going to be heavy right off the start. It means heavy rolls, maybe not even relying on rolls at all. I will show you that in the next video. This one is a mid, well balanced kind of. It's also in the table. And this one is very fast and very agile. He has a shield, he has a buckler. Blocking with this one is not very recommended, but you can parry with this. Also something very important for another video. All right, guys, the first episode of Lords by Design. Hope it helps you when you're starting off the game. Next up, we're going to actually show you some gameplay, and we're going to be focusing on the types of play styles that you can start off, and what is easy, what is not when you're choosing a certain gear from the start of the game. Cheers, and have a good one. Thanks.